Hi YouTube, it's Tracy from Queen of the Board, and today, once again, I am playing Dice Throne Marvel Missions with the X-Men characters. So today I'm going to be playing as Wolverine. Come and join me. Now, it's been a little while since I've played Dice Throne Missions, so please bear with me. This is not a rules teach. I am playing for fun. Let me know in the comments if I make any rules mistakes, and please turn on the Klingon captions. That way you'll see any little goofs. Now, for my mission run today, I'm trying out a level 5 difficulty called Hulk's Legacy. It's pretty much all set up. I need to flip over my little boost tokens here. Sicarians have arrived in New York City. They're destroying buildings and attacking civilians, claiming they'll only stop if Hulk arrives. Get Hulk on the scene before anyone gets hurt. We have the ally deck set up to the left of the board here as normal with 3 allies out. However, I did pull the top 6 cards from the deck, keeping them face down, and then I added Hulk and then put those 6 back on top. So we know he's in there. I'm going to have to go digging through allies to get him over and to stop the fighting. The main objective goal is for any ally, and I'm playing solo, so Wolverine, to end their turn with Hulk recruited and not exhausted. But wait, there's more. We have a bonus objective over to the right-hand side of the board. The Sicarians are ransacking the city, so we want to limit the damage. Crisis abilities across the bottom, if triggered, are going to add destruction count tokens, plot tokens, across here. And whenever we get to 4 plot tokens, I'm going to be resetting by removing 3, and then everyone has to discard a hand of cards. We don't want that to happen. There's a bit of a warning here that the boss on the next side is particularly difficult, and so I really want to save up all my best cards for if and when we get to flip over. Worse than that, there's a respawn on this board. I've never seen this before, but some abilities will trigger a respawn. I'm noticing that the unstoppable threat here down in the bottom right, reinforcements, this will respawn defeated henchmen. So again, this just sounds very hectic, a lot of pressure. Let's see how it goes. Speaking of henchmen, let's see who we're up against. The green henchmen are the shock troops. They come in with 8 health and a shield, multi-strike, range, inflicting bleed, and dealing 5 defendable damage. Ooh, then the blue gladiators, 10 health, also a shield, multi-strike, melee, inflict barbed vine, and deal 11 defendable damage. The Royal Guard over here in purple, 15 health with a shield, multi-strike, range, deal 6 damage. Now remember, to defend against range, I will have to spend my momentum points if I choose to do that. And to be honest, we want to save up those momentums to be getting the allies out onto the board. Each of these have very similar crisis abilities, basically saying if there's another henchman of the same type, undefeated, I roll a dice, and then I either add a destruction, otherwise I have to respawn one of the same henchmen. Pretty rough. Let's see how we get on. We've got Wolverine. He is fierce. I'm the best at what I do, but what I do isn't very nice. Okay, Wolverine, sure. He doesn't have a passive ability, but he does have a healing ability on the board, which is pretty cool. Of course, his ultimate Berserker Rage. Hope we can get that one out. Let's have a look at his tokens. Alpha tokens are a unique status effect. And in this game, it wouldn't make sense for me to try and give them to the henchmen. So instead, I'll get to gain momentum points. So that's pretty cool. Rage has a stack limit of 3 and adds 3 damage or helps me to draw a card. My starting health as I'm playing solo is 45. You would ordinarily begin with 2 combat points, but I've managed, thanks to my player perks, to bump that up to 3. And with momentum, you would ordinarily start with 0. But again, thanks to the player perks, you start with 3 here for this game. Now, player perks aren't specific to the character you're playing. They are personally for me as the player. So the more you play the game, the more perks you get. Kind of crafty Roxley games. Now, one last thing, I did add an extra black die to my roll just because I find personally it makes missions more fun. It's going to make it a little bit more difficult, but it's triggering more things and I just get a kick out of that. I'm also going to be playing with the standee face down on the board just to make it easier for you to see it. Well, I think that's pretty much everything, so let's go. Now here is a quick reminder card of the turn phases we'll be going through today. I have a hand of 4 cards. Let's take a look at them. We've got Frenzy, Astonishing Frenzy, Feral, and Intimidate. So the first thing I need to do is movement. I can move anywhere on the board that I have access to via the entrance. You can't pass through the henchman though. And I'm probably going to want to be next to a henchman because I'm going to prioritize melee damage. Now this would give me a bonus hit and this would give me a bonus CP. The shock troops do have range, so it's probably a good idea to try and deal with those early. So I think I'm just going to jump here, take the CP, and pop Wolverine in this space right here. So I'll take the CP immediately. That puts me on 4. I don't get my income phase on the first turn, unfortunately. Main phase, I can choose to spend my cards. And I think straight away I'm going to use my Feral card because it has a cost of 0. Discarding that. I'm only rolling 1 die. Let's see, I'm hoping for a 6. I get a 3, but I still get to draw a card. Yay, I find an upgrade card. Fantastic. Barrage 2, that will cost me 3 CP and I'm going to go ahead and do it. It takes me down to 1. And I get to place this here, which will increase the amount of damage from 5 to 7 that I get from Barrage and from 7 to 9 when I do a large straight. Now for the fun part, I get to perform my offensive roll. Okay, we get a 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. Ah, so close. I'm going to re-roll the 6 because if I get another 4 or 5, I could do Hunter. And if I get a 3, I'll get the large straight. So let's pop these to the side. 3, 4, or 5. We get the 3. Okay. I'm going to keep it. There's my large straight. Yes. So now with my wonderfully upgraded Barrage 2 large straight, I get to heal 2 and you can go up to 10 above your starting health. So I go to 47. I gain rage or inflict alpha. Now rage helps me do damage and get cards. However, instead of inflicting alpha, I can take momentum. And again, I'm going to want to get those allies. So let's just do that. Let's go straight to 4. Then deal 9 defendable damage. But you know what? The henchmen actually don't defend anything. And guess what? This guy, he's only got a health of 8, but sadly, he does have a shield. So we'll lose the shield first for the full 3. And then he's going to take 6 damage, leaving him with only 2 health. So I'm going to put a 2 health marker on him. And then I do get another main phase. And at this point, I think I will recruit an ally. And I'm choosing Dagger. So we see who's next. We find Vision. Now, Dagger, once per round during my roll phase, I can spend 2 momentum and my attack becomes undefendable. It's an attack modifier, or I can exhaust to gain shields and add 2 undefendable damage. So pretty cool, but again, we're going to be cycling through these as fast as possible. I kind of wish that I'd remembered to recruit in my first main phase. I could have done, but what are you going to do? Now it's the bad guy's turn. They only get 1 roll. They get 1/1 and 3 5s. So we check, first of all, the shock troops do not trigger. The gladiators trigger. Now they're multi-strike and melee, but none of the gladiators are standing next to me, so nothing's going to happen there. Next, we check the Royal Guard, and 1 orange, 2 blue. We did trigger the Royal Guards, multi-strike with range. There are 2 on the board, so they are both going to attack me. And I don't want to use momentum to defend because, again, I'm trying to save it up. And Wolverine's pretty good at healing. So I think we'll just deal the damage, 6 damage from each of them. Oh my goodness, I'm taking 12 damage. So I go down to 35 from 47. Yikes. I'm not going to live very long if that keeps happening. Next is the crisis clock. So I did start it at noon and roll 4, I think it was, here. So we progress at 1, and that's going to trigger the Royal Guard crisis ability. If there is another undefeated Royal Guard, roll a dice. Let's see. On orange, add 1 destruction token to the count. Now, it's worth noting that next time this triggers, it will be reinforcements, and that ability will bring back a henchman I've defeated. So if I kill off this shock troop right now, he's just going to come right back. I didn't like that too much, but what are you going to do? Next is my movement. So I'm going to move just 1 space to the right, picking up this attack modifier of 1 and putting it on my board. My plan is to attack this purple guy as he also has range. No upkeep at the moment. There are no tokens or anything on me. I do get income, so I'm going to gain a CP and I get to draw a card. We find, oh yay, it's another upgrade. This time it's an upgrade for my defense ability. It's basically allowing me to roll an extra dice. And you know what? I think immediately I'm just going to go ahead and take it because I love an upgrade. My attack roll is next. I got 3 6s, a 4 and a 5. I think I'm going to re-roll the 4 5. Let's try for another 6. Another 4 5. Last roll. Whoops. Yay, I got my 4th 6. So I get to trigger power level 9. I can heal 1 damage, taking me to 36. I get to gain a rage token and inflict alpha. So again, I'm gaining a momentum. Goes to 5. Deal 6 undefendable damage. Now at this point, I'm going to exhaust Dagger, which allows me to gain a shield token and add 2 undefendable damage. So she is gone. And that means it's a total of 8 undefendable damage. The henchman has 15. This is going to go through his shield as it's undefendable, leaving him with 7 health. Now I have my main phase, so I will recruit Blade, costing me 1. It's going to take me down to 4 momentum. Here's Blade. Then it's over to the bad guys. Oh, wow. So they got lots of 4s and 5s and a 6. So we don't trigger the shock troops, the henchmen, or the Royal Guard, but we do hit reinforcements. Each hero selects a defeated henchman and respawns it. Whoo, lucky I haven't defeated anybody yet. So nothing happens. I think we're okay. If I just don't quite defeat them, I can kind of go around. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm hoping for sort of like a multi-attack from Wolverine. I don't even know if he has that, but fingers crossed. But we do have to move the crisis clock, and it's going to mean that a defeated henchman would be respawned here as well. But again, no one's been defeated, so nothing happens. Now it's my movement, and I think I'm just going to move down next to these two guys here. I get my income, so I'm gaining a CP, going to 1, drawing a card, and I find another upgrade, severe threat. That has a cost of 2 CP, so I can't quite afford it at the moment. I'm going to attack the purple guy again. See if we can take him out. I got my 4 claws. I will re-roll the 5. And I'll re-roll one more time. Okay, I was looking for 3 of a kind there, but I didn't get it. However, I do get to deal 5 damage from my claws. Now that is going to remove the shield and take out these 2 health. And I'm going to exhaust blade to increase the damage dealt by 3. So this becomes a 2. Was trying to take him out, didn't quite manage it. Second main phase, so I am going to grab myself vision for 1. Let me show you vision. He triggers if I get 3 5s. I don't know if that's likely, but it'd be great if it happens. Next, the bad guys roll. Oh boy. Well, I'm kind of regretting, honestly, adding that extra dice, but it certainly does make it fun. The shock troops do not trigger. The gladiators do not trigger, but the royal guard will trigger. And there are still 2 of them dealing 6 damage each. Now, I think that we'll do this one first. I'm just going to take the 6. That takes me down to 30. And the royal guard right here, I am standing next to him. Maybe let me know in the comments if I'm wrong about this, because even though it's a range attack, I'm defending, so it's a melee attack. Surely I can defend without spending the momentum because I'm standing next to him. I can, you know. So let me know in the comments if I'm wrong, but I will defend against this one. So I get to roll 4 of my dice. Deal 1 undefendable damage per claw. So that's 3. That will take him out. And I gain a rage token. So he is defeated. And the cool thing about that is I get to gain 2 momentum points. And the rulebook does say that I can defend against adjacent attacks. It doesn't specifically say that you can't defend against the range attacks without spending the momentum. So I think I'm legal. And I'm going to spend 3 of those momentum to get Black Bolt. It's a slightly more expensive ally, but it's such a cool if I can get that straight. So that will replace Vision, as you can only have 1 ally at a time. I wasn't able to trigger Vision, but we'll go for the small straight on the next one and see if we can hit everyone. Next, we trigger the crisis clock and it is moving to the blue henchman. There is another undefeated gladiator, so I'm rolling a dice. And we do get an orange, so I'm adding a destruction token, 2 out of 4. And I'm going to run around the board and land on this momentum right here. So we go up to 4. I need to refill my allies. We find Squirrel Girl. I get upkeep, so I get a combat point, going to 2, and I draw a card. Oh, we find another upgrade. Adamantium Claws. That one's actually free and I can apply it during the main phase. So that one's going straight out. It doesn't increase my damage, but it does help me with healing if I can get 4 of a kind. Next, I'm going to spend my combat points immediately to put out Severe Threat. And this one is going to help me with gaining Rage in addition to the 3 damage. So plenty of upgrades now on my board. I have 4 out and I love that. I'm going to spend one of my momentum and unfortunately get rid of Black Bolt actually, so that we can recruit Squirrel Girl, because what I'm really trying to do is just get through this ally deck. And next we have Archangel. I'm going to re-roll the 6. I'll take it, it's a 2. But that gives me 5 of the claws, so I get to deal 6 damage. I did not get 3 of a kind or 4 of a kind to heal, unfortunately. And so we're going to lose the shield on this green guy, and he goes down to 5 health. I'm going to exhaust Squirrel Girl to do an extra 2 damage to him, bringing him down to 3. And then for my next main phase, I'm going to spend 2 of my momentum to get She-Hulk. Here she is, and on recruit, I get to heal 3 health, which I really like. And finally, I think, okay, one more until Hulk comes out. Next is the enemy phase. So shock troops, no. We do trigger the gladiators. So it's a melee attack and I'm not standing next to any of them, luckily. We did trigger reinforcements, but there's no one to respawn at the moment. I'm going to have to kill some guys off real quick in order to get the extra momentum I need. We move the clock up, and this time I'm losing a CP, but I did spot that, and we're at 0 CP, so nothing to lose. Next is movement. So I think this time I'm going to come over here and grab this CP, putting us up to 1. Income is another CP, and I'm drawing a card. We find, it's another upgrade. Power level 9. So this will cost me 2 CP, and I'm going to spend it. And that will increase the amount of rage I get for the first level. And it adds another option if I only get 3 6s, which is fantastic. So now I'm down to 0 CP. I'm going to exhaust She-Hulk to get another 2 health. Brings me up to 35. And spend my last momentum now to get Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler gains me a shield, and I have to admit I do have one, and I think I forgot about it earlier. Oops. Let's pop them at the top of my board so I can see them a little easier. And filling, we finally find Hulk. He's at the door, but I need to have recruited him before I can succeed. So I need 2 more momentum, and to do that, I need to finish off a bad guy. So let's roll. I'm going to keep the 2, 3, 4. Maybe we can get a small straight. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to use my small straight. So I heal 1, going to 36. Not bad. I gain another rage token. I'm saving these for the big bad guy at the end. And then I deal 7 damage, which is more than enough to finish this guy off. That gets me my 2 momentum that I needed. And it is now my final main phase of the round. And guess what? I am going to exhaust Nightcrawler to gain another shield. And I'm going to spend that 2 momentum to get me some Hulk. Yay! Welcome to the party. And the Beast, of course, is right behind him. I hope Wolverine's feeling friendly. Now, for the main objective, it does say any hero ends their turn. And I have ended my hero turn, but I don't know if it means the entire turn, and I feel like I should finish. So we're going to let the bad guys have 1 more crack at me. And I think we're okay. In fact, they didn't trigger anything. So the final thing would be the crisis clock. And in this case, we would simply roll. We do get another destruction, but it's not going to make a difference because we have successfully completed the main objective. Upon completion, distribute 5 health. So I go to 41. And 3 momentum. 1, 2, 3. Then flip this board for the final battle. So if you'd like to see what happens next after all of that, basically we were playing for time until Hulk could arrive, trying not to take too much damage. If you'd like to see what comes next, watch the next video. I think it'll be out in about a week. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments if I made mistakes. I'm sure I did. It's been a while. Bye.